Hello and welcome to This Car Pod.
I'm Kennan.
I'm Filippo.
This is a big one, folks. No one is local. Kennan, I guess, is. I don't know. But Filippo appears to be in some sort of Porsche enthusiast studio.
You know it. It's who we are now. We're
Between you got like an Eames chair, a 964, and one of those speaker things. This person has a watch collection that would you know what? Am I right, Kennan?
This person is wearing a Marantz t-shirt. Like they just love
whoever studio you're sitting in is currently touching his man bun while discussing deviated stitching options with his Porsche enthusiast friends.
There are a couple of Porsches in this garage. Tasteful.
Well, that's unfortunate. All right. We got a lot to cover today. Let's start with our news stories. Go ahead, Kennan. What you got?
All right. The first news story, it's notable because pricing has been revealed for the Slate vehicles. Do you want to guess what the starting price is?
It's like 25, right?
Yeah, 25 grand without destination. We don't know the destination pricing yet. Is what the pickup truck is. Just as a quick reminder of specs, these have like 200-ish miles range. They start out as a pickup truck. It's like a little bit longer than a GTI or a Volkswagen Golf in length. It's a pretty small truck, and as a base price. Rear-wheel drive, 200-ish miles of electric range, EV only, crank windows, no stereo, etc.
I'm just going to tell you right now, this isn't going to sell.
So that's the issue, right? So they also have other body styles, and the way their entire thing is that it's very customizable. So if you want a color, if you don't want it to be raw metal, you need to get a wrap. The wrap starts at $500 plus install. You can also add in like speaker grills and different dash panels and stereo.
To this? The Maverick starts at 27.
It's gone up a little bit. It's like 29 something with destination.
I'm looking. A 26 Maverick starts at 27,145 without destination, and that's apples to apples because we don't have destination on this Slate thing. Maverick's 27. Maverick has 4 doors. Paint. There's paint.
Yep.
They paint the Maverick right there for you.
Yeah, has a stereo. Radio.
They do the painting right there for you.
Yeah.
And the nation is kind of turned on EVs in general. And obviously, now people are going to watch this, the internet people. No way, this is so good. Cheap truck, little truck. This is what everybody wants. Nah.
Also, you can add a square back SUV and a fastback SUV. Those
GLE or GLE Coupe?
The square back is $5,000 additional dollars, so you're at 30 pre-destination.
30.
The fastback is 32 pre-destination. You're just not competitive. Now I think that they're hoping.
Does that come with seat?
It does. It comes with a 3-seat bench. It also adds 2 airbags.
What other stuff does a base Slate not have? It only has 2 airbags?
No. Adding the SUV adds 2 airbags.
What other stuff does a base Slate not have?
It doesn't have a stereo. It doesn't have a key fob, as far as I can tell. It doesn't have like a center armrest. It doesn't have a door, like a padded armrest. There's a lot of things that you can add and you can customize. It doesn't have like an infotainment screen. There's a spot for your phone. It's very, very, very bare bones. And they, if you read like their like engineering interviews, and the few folks have driven it and talked to their teams, the Topian included. And if you read their reviews, their engineers are very proud of the fact that this is a very simple truck. Like the frame is not like a single cast. It's a bunch of welds together. Every kind of component is really, really simple.
Do you remember how the Tata Nano was going to change India?
Of course. For $7,000.
This was 20 years ago. Tata came out with this little car called the Nano that it was like $7,000 new, and it was going to change India. And what happened was no one bought it. Yep. Now I also remember some modular cars where you could customize them. Kennan, remember the Z1?
Oh, of course. Yeah. The idea was that if you could do it, you change every panel on the car yourself, in essence, and totally change the color of the car. And guess what? No one did that. I think no
one ever did it.
I think the only people I know of that actually documented it, like wheeler dealers, did it, and it was supposed to be fast. Took them like a week.
It took them like multiple days with like trained mechanics in a shop. Yeah. The smart car was the same way initially, believe it or not. And Filippo's gone. You know, it's fine. The smart car was the same way initially. And that didn't work either. No one really ever bothered to change the color. And for the second generation, the color changing situation was gone. Kennan, look, given that you're not the Slate truck consumer, tell us what your thoughts are on simple vehicles.
Well, I do like a simple vehicle, despite being someone who owns only complex vehicles. But I do think that, like, I liked the idea of it when it came out, and it made sense in that context. But we all knew they just weren't going to hit their targets. So what I think they need to do is release another Wes Anderson-style Q&A session with the CEO, because that really got us where we needed to go with it last time.
She's out anyway.
So I wonder why. That's tough. But I don't know. I mean, like, I just, why would you get this? Like, it doesn't make sense economically. I don't think there's a lot of demand for it in the US. I mean, I guess if you order it on Amazon Prime, it shows up the next day. That's nice, but I don't know.
Right. You know what problem I have also is, ultimately, EVs are for rich people. Like, the infrastructure required and the lifestyle situation required to have an EV right now makes them kind of a rich person car. It's just sort of the reality. You got to have a house. You got to have a charger. Like, yes, you can charge in public. There are a lot of people who do it with Model 3s. But in general, it's easier if you have more money to have an EV, which is why most EVs have been shooting for high-end segments. And this truck is tended to appeal to people who are like at the kind of lower-end entry-level, the pickup segment. But it's like 25 grand for the truck. But then you also have to figure out your charge situation, and you can't be driving more than 200 miles, between charges, which is not a significant distance, or 100 when it gets cold. It's just, it'll be interesting, and I know there's going to be 1,000 people replying to this and being like, this is what the people want. We'll see. I have a suspicion we'll see.
Yeah, I sort of feel the same way about it. I'm excited to see it. I'm very excited for you to review it, but nonetheless, it just seems like a tough sell in a lot of regards.
Filippo, we kept going.
I'm glad you did.
Well, Filippo was there. He's seen it already. He was at the launch event.
Filippo,
he got a tattoo.
Filippo, I know that you're hanging out with your Porsche enthusiasts right now discussing 997.2 wheel options. Oh, the Carrera classics. But can you tell us, you agree this Slate thing's going to fail, yeah?
I think their hope is that there's like a cuteness, novelty, personalization.
That doesn't last.
I agree.
Okay.
It's like they maybe get a few reservations, a few sales, but it's not competitive.
I think they're going to have a great first model year when you have a lot of pent-up demand interested in this little, cool, interesting, new, exciting truck. I think they're going to have one great first model year, like a lot of cars that primarily sell based on their sort of wow, interesting factor. And then, like the Santa Cruz, honestly. And then after that, you're going to be stuck trying to find people who are going to be hard to find.
I'm not even sure it'll be that successful first year, right? Like the Fiat 500e that you reviewed, it's a new generation. It's a low-range electric. It's cute. It has it makes weird noises. It plays like Ode to Joy or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's cute. That's funky. It's not a practical fit in the market. It's not competitive, and that's going to be true for the Slate too.
No.
Right. You would rather have a Maverick, Filippo?
Yeah, 100%.
Would you rather
people have asked me, and I've heavily recommended a Maverick.
Would you rather have a used Duramax heavy duty?
I think that's a different clientele.
It's interesting that you say that, because I actually think a big competitor to this truck will actually be used pickup trucks.
Yeah, but not a used Duramax.
Not a Duramax. But I do think that there are going to be a lot of people who are comparing this, because ultimately it's a price conscious clientele. There are going to be a lot of people and now there are a lot more midsize and small trucks in the U.S. market between Ranger and Colorado and Canyon and Maverick and Santa Cruz, and there are going to be a lot of people who are comparing it to all of those trucks as a used product. And you tell me how this is better than a 3-year-old Frontier.
It's not. The only way that I think it could have some success is if they lean really heavily into the commercial market. If you're a florist and you can make this really tailored to your brand and it's cheap enough, maybe, great. But that's such a niche.
Every florist situation. I know has a Maverick or a Transit.
They all have Ford Transit Connect.
Transit Connect, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, move on to our next news story. We got a first news story: vehicle fails. Startup vehicle fails. Oh, speaking of startup vehicles that failed, did you see this, Filippo?
Of course. The Honda Element is coming back in 2029.
Make it a convertible. Make it a convertible.
It wasn't a convertible originally.
I know, but everybody wants convertibles now. The Bronco wasn't a convertible originally, and look at us now.
It had a top that came off.
Yeah, but now it just and in the past you had you and 4 of your closest friends over a couple of cold ones had to pull the thing off. And now look at us. The Element will be so much better if it's a convertible. Please. There is a lack of convertible SUVs on the market today.
You know why, Doug? Because the market has spoken, and then it's spoken again, and then it has spoken again, and then it has spoken again, and then it's spoken again.
Excuse me. Do you know how many sales Wranglers they sold last year? Are you crazy?
What about the Nissan Murano Cross
I don't think
Cabriolet?
the Element is going to be priced like that. They sold 167,000 Jeep Wranglers last year.
People
167. Ford sold 146,000 full-size Broncos last year. That's 320,000 sales of convertible SUVs last year. And Toyota sits here and they're like, oh, the 4Runner, the back window goes down.
That's cool, which we all love. Regardless, the Honda Element is going to come back. My understanding is that it's going to be like a relatively boxy vehicle, and it's going to be Bronco Sport size and a Bronco Sport competitor. So like a more utilitarian, cutesy, square HRV, CRV. In that
it is interesting that you have an understanding. Do you have an understanding about the roof situation?
Yeah, no. And by the way, we're not going to talk about the ability to hose it down, because every Honda Element fan knows that is a recipe for disaster.
No, you just hose it down. So some mold ends up in the car. Who cares?
There's been a lot of debate in the Element forums about this.
If mold ends up in the car, Kennan, you know what you do? You hose down the mold.
Just keep hosing.
It works.
It's no problem.
Why not?
More water pressure. I'm actually very excited about this. I love the original Honda Element. I thought they were really cool cars back then. So it makes sense to bring it back now. Like, I think it fits it fits a lot of needs, and maybe this one you can actually hose it down. Maybe they'll actually go the distance.
I think the Element never should have gone out of production, and I understand sort of why it did. But I think that if they had committed to it a little bit more, it actually probably could have been. The boxy thing had kind of died. There was that Scion and all that. But I think that like a little bit of an alteration, and it could have been like an Outback Sport, Impreza Outback Sport. What is that called? The Crosstrek competitor. Like I think it could have lived in that space.
Yep.
Yeah, they could have something like that.
I do have an important question, which is, with all respect to our friends at Honda, are you ready to be disappointed?
Oh, wow. You think it's going to be bad?
No, the Passport's not a bad vehicle, but you're going to have these ambitions, but they won't commit. What it is.
Yeah, you're so right. They won't commit to they take an idea and then water down the idea to the point where it's really a disappointment.
It's going to be a squared off HRV, is my guess, with some cladding.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, you're right.
But
the previous one
competitive.
The previous one had dual sunroofs. If they do a convertible, Filippo will buy it.
Absolutely not.
If they do a convertible, I will have a conversation about buying it. I'll tell you what, Honda, I'll make you this promise. If you do a convertible Element, it will be our lead news story on the pod the week you announce it. You'll reach a massive audience. Yep. This is my promise to you.
It is a massive audience, though, to be fair.
Was this car built in Ohio?
The Element? I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer. I feel like it was, but I might very well. Yeah. I'm likely wrong with it. Was it? Okay.
East Liberty.
Yeah.
Shut up.
All right. There needs to be a convertible 4Runner. Next news story.
Imagine you finally win your dream car at auction, a pristine gated manual supercar. But to save money on transport, you hire a cut-rate hauler with a rusty flatbed and frayed bungee cords. You wouldn't trust a sketchy trailer with a rare exotic. It's the same reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. It comes down to having the right resources. Not all law firms are the same. Hire the wrong one, and you might be beat before you even start. Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people for over 35 years and has recovered over $30 billion for their clients. Hiring them is like showing up to a track day with a full factory racing team. They have more than 1,000 lawyers and 100 offices nationwide. If you're ever injured by someone's negligence, you deserve to be paid. Morgan & Morgan fights to get their clients the best results. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. You can go to forthepeople.com/DeMuro for more information. As a convertible driver, I wear sunglasses pretty much year-round. And for the longest time, I've accepted a certain amount of annoyance with them. You start moving, a run, a bike, a spirited drive, and they slide down your nose. You've adjusted them constantly, or they just come off entirely, or maybe they even fog up. I figured that was just the trade-off. Then I started wearing Warby Parker Sport. And what I appreciate is they don't look like performance eyewear. They're not that competing in the Olympics look. They look like normal, well-designed sunglasses. But the upgrades are where it counts. A no-slip nose pad so they stay put when you're sweating, a wraparound design that widens your field of vision, and contrast-enhancing lenses that keep things sharp when you're moving. They block 100% of UV, they're polarized, scratch-resistant, and more. I've worn mine hiking, on long walks, and they just stay where they're supposed to be. And Warby does more than sport. Prescription glasses, contacts, online eye exams, and over 300 stores if you'd still rather go in person. It's all in one place. Eyewear that's made to move with you. Right now, buy one pair of glasses and get 20% off any additional pairs at warbyparker.com/cars. That's 20% off any additional pairs when you purchase one pair at warbyparker.com/cars.
Not a full convertible 4Runner. It is instead that Lucid is cutting an additional 18% of their U.S. workforce, saving about $158 million annualized. They've also lost their chief operating officer, Mark Winterhoff. Effective immediately, they're not replacing him. And they're still struggling.
How much of the 158 mil is saved by not replacing Winterhoff?
It's not zero. They had about 9,000 employees as of last year. They did 12% layoffs in February, and an additional 18% now. They really are trying to stop burning quite as much cash as they have been. They weren't able to sell very many Gravities due to a supplier issue. They weren't able to build very many. They now will have a
that's why they couldn't sell them.
Well, it didn't help.
Layoffs are sad, and I always feel sad when there are layoffs because I know how that affects people, and it's real. Lucid's product strategy has been interesting, to put it mildly. And I think that we were just talking in our group text thread the other day about how insane it is in the day of SUVs that all these automakers decided that they would launch sedans as their first EV. Porsche made the mistake, Lucid made the mistake, various others did too. But then to follow up the sedan with a minivan.
I'm into it. I love the Gravity.
The problem is,
I've heard some issues.
The problem is you're a contrarian, and most people, when faced with a $125,000 minivan or a Rivian, they're not choosing the minivan.
The secret is that it's not $125,000.
Yeah, that's right. The transaction price is $41,700, and by the way, that's why all the layoffs are happening.
A couple of other pieces of news from it. So that they are still working on their mid-size crossover that should be revealed soon. I think that one's for the urban moms or whatever they call it.
It better not look like the Gravity.
It will.
Lucid, make it boxy.
They will absolutely not make it boxy.
The Kia Telluride should tell you everything you need to know. The funny thing is, I've been doing this make it boxy tangent for years, and some automakers have sort of come up with a high and mighty attitude about it. Like, we're not going to go down the G-Wagon road. We're going to make the XM. We're going to make the Gravity. Well, when you don't make it boxy, you are rewarded with bad sales. So that's your choice, I guess. If you want to do minivans and jelly bean sedans, it's what you're doing.
Yep. Also, by the way, very sad news for anybody expecting their Gravity. They eliminated their second shift of production at their Arizona facility.
No one is expecting a Gravity. You can go to any Lucid retailer at your local shopping mall and order one, and it'll be there tomorrow. It's currently sitting in a field in a bad neighborhood in your town.
Yeah,
ready for you.
About a month ago, they suspended all guidance for the year because they weren't sure how many cars they'll sell because they have elevated inventory. So
I got some guidance.
Make it
ain't gonna
boxy.
be pretty. You know, the moment I saw that picture of that Gravity, I was like, oh my God, they're going to lay off 30% of their workforce, including Winterhoff. It's all gone.
Yeah, it's tough. They did have a new CEO earlier this year, Silvio Napoli, and now they may make some turnaround changes, or they may fail to.
Can I make a suggestion? Gas-engined boxy SUVs.
I'm a little frustrated by Lucid's failures here because, by all accounts, they have the most advanced, impressive motor technology. Their motors are notably lighter than every other EV manufacturer. I think they have great packaging. I think they have great interior design and some other components that they truly have done a beautiful job building cars.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've made poor product planning decisions and have had a lot of reliability issues that make it tough to recommend.
Here's a theory I'm going to posit for you, Filippo. The Lucid Gravity is the Lincoln town car of our generation.
Isn't the Lucid Air the Lincoln town car of our generation?
No, the Lucid Air would be the MK. Yes, I'm sorry, the Air. The Air is the town car. The Gravity is the MKT. You're right.
I've never seen a young Air driver.
Yeah, and also it just looks like that. It's American built. It's like a big old sedan.
By the way. I kind of want one, and it has 500 miles of range, which no other EV has still.
The other day, someone asked me if they should get a Lucid Air, and I said, "Look, they're amazing, and the used ones are cheap, and they're incredible, but it's going to probably cause some problems. You're going to have some issues." Okay, Toyota should make a convertible 4Runner. Next news story, please.
All right. I keep putting out the stories, I apologize, but this is my very favorite story of the week.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Truly. All right.
Sean wasn't here to cull his dumb stories this week. So
I know. It's the best. I have so much freedom.
I don't even know. I can't even see the picture, but it looks like a manufacturing situation, which makes me nervous.
You will love this story, too. All right, so we've talked in the past about how both Toyota and Nissan are shipping cars that are made in America to be sold now in Japan.
I saw this story.
The Tundra, the Highlander, the Murano, among others. Part of this is driven by the agreement that the Japanese and the U.S. government came to related to tariffs, opened the door for more exports from the U.S. to Japan. But automakers that are doing this are running into an issue, which is that the quality standards that they build vehicles to for the U.S. market are a little below the quality standards that the Japanese market is used to.
This has a little more nuance to it, though. It's like paint finishes are a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like, not because the quality is different because the workers are bad. It's because like the actual design and creation of the car has a different focus than
sort
Japan.
of. The notice on Muranos when they're sold in Japan say this vehicle is manufactured specifications intended for overseas markets, and the SUV, the Murano, may have dust particles in the paint, traces of sealant residue, or misaligned or uneven panel and gaps. But they don't affect the vehicle's functionality, which may be true.
Well, we all accept that. We've all come to expect that from Nissan. It's just that the Japanese haven't yet, but they will.
Toyota on the Tundra and Highlander also say that they may notice thin paint, color variations, polishing marks, and dents.
Have they told the Japanese that their Tundra engines could explode?
I think they've kept that one a secret.
I'm going to tell you a story, Filippo, that's going to rock your world, and I want to cover this in greater detail when we get on to when I get back. But this is a real story. The Tundra, the engines are exploding left and right. It's a real problem with the turbo V6. Okay,
yep.
Exploding engines. But they're recalling them,
yep.
And they're putting in new motors on some of them. But
my understanding is those new motors also exploded.
Everything's exploding, but the hybrids aren't affected, and I finally discovered why the hybrids aren't affected. Are you aware of why?
No.
Same powertrain. Same powertrain. So how could it not be affected?
Atkinson cycle.
The answer is hybrids aren't affected by the recall because the recall is government mandated, and when the gas motor blows, the cars can stop driving and become dangerous and a hazard. However, when the gas motor blows in the hybrid, and it does with the same frequency as the gas-powered cars, the hybrid powertrain is sufficient to drive you to a safe place. This is what Toyota has convinced their regulator. It's the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration. It's enough to drive you to a safe place, and so the hybrid doesn't need a safety recall because technically it isn't a safety issue. Now,
you're joking.
I own one of these cars, and I'm going to tell you something. If my gas engine blows, the safety issue will be to Toyota and their employees from me.
Doug is not threatening violence. I want to be very clear.
No, not at all. I'm not going to go to Plano. I'm not going to do anything like that. But I will caution people not to buy one of these vehicles, which I am now.
I thought that they had a lower incidence rate. Is that not true?
Oh, yeah. Lower.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Suburban.
What I find unfortunate is a manufacturer not standing behind its product. My car is $85,000. The hybrid twin-turbo V6s are the most expensive ones in their lineup. Yeah. And these are customers that will never buy a Toyota again. I get so much crap for not buying a Tahoe already. I don't have a V8. I'm driving around in this six-cylinder, and I sit here and I say, the six-cylinder is so great. And it is. It's an amazing powertrain, right up until it blows, and I have to use the hybrid engine to safely get off the road.
Oh, what a discovery.
Yeah. That's bad.
That's rough. It looks that way, and the engine could blow up. That's a tough existence for you.
I waved to another TRD Pro Sequoia owner yesterday.
Oh, what was it? A salute, or was it an actual just? Or did you pull the gun out of the gun
Different
safe
kind
and
of
just wave
salute
it
there,
at him?
Kennan.
I waved, but unfortunately he was busy doing pro-Trump chants while he was driving and see me.
It's tough.
He was making America great again, right there on the road. Anyway, he was doing that, then his engine blew. But fortunately, he had the ability with his hybrid powertrain to safely steer off the road.
My goodness.
Yeah, anyway, we're going to talk about this a lot more on many more podcasts. And my greatest hope is that it happens to me when I'm in San Diego, in which case I will be relentless in my fury toward Toyota. Do you agree, Filippo?
Imagine if it happens to you not in San Diego.
I think it's more likely, considering when the car is in San Diego, it doesn't move until it goes back to the East Coast.
If that happens to me when I'm in the middle of the country, the wrath that I will create for Toyota cannot even be explained with rational words.
I'm excited for Friday at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, 30 minutes after this podcast goes live, for you to get the email from Toyota corporate saying,
I think that Toyota is probably embarrassed. Like, I'm going to reach out to their PR people for comment on this once. Again, I want to cover this in greater detail than the 8 minutes we devoted to already. I want to devote 30 minutes to it. But PR people know that this is indefensible, so I am curious what they would say if given the opportunity to comment.
You're getting a recall notice tomorrow.
Small portion of vehicles and blah, blah, blah. Silly.
Doug is getting a one-off recall.
It'll be a
notice.
handwritten one just for him. But yes.
Well, fine, do that. But the recalled powertrains, are they working any better?
I'm not convinced.
You know what I want? I want them to recall my Sequoia hybrid and put in the 2UZ 4.7 liter V8 from the Tundra and GX470.
God, that'd be such a slow vehicle.
Fine.
Fine.
Slow. We're not trying to go fast here, Filippo. We're trying to be reliable.
Good point. All right, let's move on to the pinnacle reliability, the Maserati.
Wait. Before we move on, Toyota should make a convertible 4Runner. All right, next.
Sorry, I jumped the gun there. Sorry.
Two pieces of news on the Maserati front. I'm keeping this to under a minute. All of their lineup has been refreshed with a new corporate face. The Gran Turismo has a little bit more power than it did before, like 40 horsepower than it did before. There's going to be a new Grecale in 27, and the Slate CEO said in meetings with Italian lawmakers this week that they are in active conversation with two partners to work with Maserati. Take that as you will. Like, you could take that to mean, even though Maserati's PR team has denied this, that they're looking at acquisition. They could be looking at like platform sharing, etc. But this is Stellantis, which owns about half the brands in the world. So I don't know what they'd be doing there. So Maserati will have some news soon.
Well, great. Toyota should make a convertible 4Runner. Give us our next slide, please. What's this?
Yes, the Koenigsegg Jesko. Now, Doug, you live life a quarter mile at a time, if I recall. You love your quarter mile thing. So I want to share some stats with you. That's right. So the Jesko recently set a very interesting record. It was the first production car to break 186 miles an hour in the quarter mile. That means it does the quarter mile in 8.3 seconds. Now, Doug, you've done a lot of quarter miles. Let that number sink in for a moment about how fast that is.
No, I mean, I've never been in a car that does a quarter that fast. I used to do a lot of quarter mile drag racing. It's hard to imagine.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the Plaid probably does that. Close to that, and I've never done a full quarter, and it's probably insane.
Right. So to be specific, it surpassed 300 kilometers an hour. So the actual speed it was clocked at was 189.76 miles an hour.
Tread speed's 190 miles an hour in a quarter. In a quarter.
Yeah, that's crazy. But my favorite part about this story, like that's one thing and very admirable. But there's footage of this that they recorded. And, Doug, you've been there on the line, set in the corner, you're focused, you're holding the steering wheel nice and tight, pointing it straight. This guy sets the quarter mile, the driver, he set the quarter mile holding a phone. He did it one-handed, recording with a phone, which is mind-blowing to me. He was doing 190 miles an hour one-handed.
Is this not an official Koenigsegg this quarter mile time?
This is what they have published. Quarter mile at 8.54 seconds, and it was verified.
It's also incredibly impressive given that it's rear-wheel drive. It's not electric. It's not hybrid even. That's wild.
Yeah, it's an insane figure.
Is that true? I don't know anything about this car.
Yeah, it is all. Everything I said there is accurate, as most of the things that I say on this podcast generally tend to be. I will say that their 0 to 60 time, which is 2.35 seconds, according to this. It's not the fastest 0 to 60, but it must just the first 60 miles per hour must be the slowest in that quarter mile.
There's a launch problem because it's not four-wheel drive and it's not
rear-wheel drive and not hybrid. Yeah,
but then it seems to catch up okay. What does the ZR1X do in the quarter?
9 something.
9s? That's so slow. No, 8.675 at 160. What does this thing do again, Kennan?
So they claimed that it took 8.54 is what they were clocked at for the quarter.
It's interesting because the trap speed tells you why the Koenigsegg is so much faster. The ZR1X hits 160 at 8.675, but the Koenigsegg was going 190, which tells you just how quickly it is accelerating still as it is accelerating. It is getting so much faster. So it's got this incredible high speed thing that just happens incredibly fast. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that must.
By the way, the ZR1X. The most impressive supercar, it's not that expensive for the performance it puts out. It's faster. Jason Cabeza, our friend at Haggerty, did a drag race with the new Temerario, a couple other cars. The 01X blows by all of those cars in the quarter mile and 0-60, and it puts on power for the same price, less.
Would you consider one if there was a Storado version?
A 01X Storado? That'd be weird.
You wouldn't consider one for Kennan?
I'll consider anything, but I'm not going to buy it. So that's how that goes.
I really want an E-Ray / Grand Sport X.
Would you get an E-Ray Storado?
It does not change my. I would actually, yeah. I would get an E-Ray Storado. Yeah.
There we go.
I think that they would call it E-Ray. Oh my goodness! What is the Chevrolet off-road 4AT AT4?
That's GMC's. That's Z71 Trail Boss.
High Country.
E-Ray Trail Boss.
An E-Ray Trail Boss, I would 100% consider.
Okay. We're having some. This is real now.
And if it was also a convertible 4Runner, I would do that too.
Yeah, Toyota should make a convertible 4Runner. On to our next news story.
Here's something I appreciate about Mothers, the official car care provider of Cars and Bits. They're actually car people. Family owned and operated since 1973. Everything formulated right in Huntington Beach, California. These are products built by enthusiasts for enthusiasts, and it shows. The one I'd point to is their California Gold ceramic line. Ceramic coatings always felt like this intimidating, leave it to the pros thing. Mothers makes it simple. Spray it, wipe it, done. Professional grade results in your own driveway without the professional grade price tag. And because Mothers is available almost anywhere, you're not tracking down some boutique product online. You can go grab it today, just in time for the holiday. Whether you're prepping a car for auction or you just want it looking right in the driveway, there's no shine like Mothers. Head to mothers.com to check out the full lineup and find what's right for your car. Give it that Mother's love.
More Koenigsegg news. So recently at Goodwood, Koenigsegg set another record. Not a 0-61, but they did it with a Lego car. So they had a version of the Sadar Spear built completely out of Legos, and it set a new record going up Goodwood Hill for a Lego vehicle, which is 69 miles an hour. Nice.
Wait. What? They drove a Lego car. What is a Sadar Spear? What the hell is that?
That's another Koenigsegg creation. But the whole point with this is Koenigsegg paired up with Lego because they're releasing another Lego kit like in their supercar thing. And to promote that, they wanted to do something special. So they built a life-size model of this thing completely out of Lego, 327,000 pieces, and it weighs 4,000
completely out of Lego.
pounds.
It has an engine. The engine's not out of Lego.
Okay, not completely out of Lego, but mostly out of Lego. But it nonetheless, it did it. It was obviously a publicity stunt, but I think it's really cool when they do stuff like this. And this kind of gets the kid
driving a Lego car.
Yeah,
at Goodwood. At Goodwood.
What do you mean? All you need to do? It's made out of little blocks
that stick together really well. They're well engineered.
It's all friction. They must be. I'm looking at the picture of the car.
What do you think bolting something down is? You're just creating a lot of friction.
Here's my problem with this.
What a very different way.
Yeah, you're insane.
I'm not fundamentally wrong.
No, you are fundamentally wrong. Here's the problem I have. I'm looking at a picture of the car. There's brakes, there's wheels, there's tires. I think they just took a Koenigsegg-like base plate, to use Lego terminology, and just kind of created the body out of Legos. Is the interior Lego?
I think it is.
My understanding is that it's Lego.
I think it is.
Also, there are a bunch of other electric, there's other mechanical features. Ghost mode works, so there are other electric motors lifting it up.
Wait, I got to picture the interior. Oh my God, it's mostly Lego.
I would like to say my favorite fact about this which is it is heavier than the actual car.
Yep, it
Like,
weighs
the real car is notably
4,000
lighter.
pounds. It's very heavy.
What did it weigh, Kennan?
4,000 pounds is what they claimed it weighed, which is
It's
a lot.
Almost exactly as much as a Slate.
And it's built the same way.
Modularly, yeah, exactly.
You know, it's interesting though, because one other interesting thing that I was thinking of this week is that Toyota should make a convertible 4Runner. Yeah. Next, do we have any more news stories?
We have one more.
Yes, we have one more. So
What is
this is a Morgan. So Pininfarina, a design house that we all love, largely has been making industrial products. Like they make, Coke dispensers, like this sort of thing. Well, recently they paired up with Morgan to release this. They're calling it the Midsummer Coupe. It's going to be powered by the B58, the great BMW 6-cylinder, and it's going to use the 8-speed ZF transmission. But I think it looks absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Morgan, a brand not known for advancing their design much, just kind of keeping their 1930s look. I think this actually looks wonderful, and I think it's kind of proof that
it's like a
Pininfarina can make
beautiful
car.
modernization of a Morgan, and it kind of looks like a Bugatti Adelante.
There is
This
a little
is-
bit of Atlantique, yeah.
This is something that I think you should consider, Filippo.
Well, unfortunately, Filippo won't be able to consider because they're only building 9 of them. So it might be a bit tough. He can conceptualize it. We'll get him a model, maybe.
Can I have the Lego version?
Well, we'll see. Maybe that'll weigh 4,000 pounds as well.
Yeah.
But
Did you say Lego version?
No, I said version.
I think he said it with a W because he's trying to be like a Porsche guy. He's trying to be like German. He's sitting in that office and it's rubbing off on him.
But they don't have W's in German. It's all V's.
No, it's the V and W are switched. Filippo,
Oh, that's right. That's what it is.
Filippo, are you becoming a Porsche person by just
I'm just
sitting in
becoming
the
a Porsche.
room?
Well, you know what? But
Slowly.
he didn't say Winterhof. That's what I was expecting him to
Oh,
say.
yeah.
He did
Good point.
He held back though. I could tell he was thinking it. But nonetheless, I think this is really cool. Of course, we'll be very unlikely to ever see one, but it is proof. I really would love to see Pininfarina go back and do more cars. Yeah. I know we had talked about, like, with the Luce, it's like, oh, Pininfarina have been designing it, and you specifically, Doug, said that, like, they're not who they used to be. I don't know. I think if they still can exercise taste like this, it would be, I'd like to see
Okay,
more
look,
cars.
I'm going to clarify that comment because I was being very diplomatic because I think it was in a Camisa video, and we got our pod, we can be a little bit more outgoing. Pininfarina was purchased by the Indians, Mahindra. And I think that Ferrari decided that they did not want their vehicles. This is my theory slash I've heard from people that it's true. Ferrari did not want their vehicles designed by, Pininfarina is Italian. When it is no longer Italian, Ferrari was thinking, let's just bring design in-house because we are Italian. And I think that's what happened. Not that it's lost its luster, not that it's not the same, whatever. I think it was more that there was a new owner and Ferrari didn't see that as a credible situation for them. Now, this is a beautiful car. Do you know there's a convertible, Kennan?
Yes, I do know there's a convertible. I think they made 50 of those. So
They made 50 convertibles. Why are they only doing 9 coupes?
I don't know. Maybe that's all the tooling can handle. They couldn't get enough trees to build the rest of the car. I don't know.
You know what's a mistake? You know what's a mistake? The convertible is called the Midsummer. The coupe should have been called the Midwinter.
Ooh, the Midvinta, as Filippo would say.
That's Filippo, yeah. Well, Filippo wouldn't even pay attention to it because it's not a Porsche, and he's sitting in this room.
No, but that's true. It has a German heart, but not a Porsche one. That's true.
Filippo's over here. I met Andreas Pruninger once. That's what he's telling it. He posts on
AP
his
is what we call him.
AP, I call him AP. Yeah, me and I know him.
All right, we have one last news story.
How do we have one more?
That our
My
producer
God.
Sean added from a literal train. He's on a train.
Why did this is very scary.
There is currently a trend in China. So there's a bunch of cars that have driver monitoring systems that are making sure that there's somebody actually paying attention in order to do that. They have figured out that if you attach a bobblehead of a face right in front of the camera, this is especially true in Teslas, but not only Teslas, you can trick the camera into thinking that you are paying attention and you are driving, and you don't actually need to be driving, or maybe even in the driver's seat for it to operate. And that's all we're going to say about that. Period.
Well, But then you also have to drive around with a bobblehead strapped to the roof of your car. I mean, it's a ridiculous looking thing.
I think it just like it looks like the perspective makes it look like you're in the seat, even if you're not. It's for Tesla's full self driving. Makes you think that you're awake and in the seat. It's questionable. Don't do that, people. Just don't do that.
Okay, that's great, Filippo. I really appreciate that lovely
Good
bit of
reporting.
information. Time now for the Talk Cars segment. And in this segment, the thing that we do is we talk about cars. I have nothing to say about cars except that Toyota should make a convertible 4Runner. But Filippo has just returned. He was gone for, I think, a month.
I was gone for 2 weeks, but
Yeah, but Filippo, it was a month. If you go back and look at the podcast, it's been a month where you haven't been here.
been 3 full podcasts, and I think
it's been a month
very much.
Okay.
I missed you all.
Well,
I
we really missed
got
you.
a lot of comments on my posts that apparently I ignore text messages, which
You do. You
I
absolutely
don't think
do.
is true.
You did not reply to a
Personally?
number of text messages I sent you while
I,
you were
no,
away.
if you text me directly, I'm with you, Kennan.
Nick didn't listen. I know you don't watch the pod, but Nick called you out for that, and I think it's because he doesn't understand time zones. Nick has never traveled before. You got to remember that he's never been
That makes
anywhere.
sense. That explains it.
Yeah, and so he didn't understand. I think I'm being sort of serious. He didn't understand. I think that like there's a time zone issue. He's like, I don't know. People won't reply to me. I just sent him a message at 7 p.m. He's like, what's going on?
Here's what happens. We have a text thread. I don't think this is a secret. That is quite active, but it's quite active late in the evening Pacific time, which is the middle of the night. And honestly, if you miss it, you're done. And like I love you all, but I also enjoy sleep. I enjoy spending time with my family. I enjoy not being on my phone in vacation. I spend a lot of time on my phone, on Slack and in emails and in text messages, and it's nice to disconnect. But it's great to be back and talking to you guys.
So now that you're reconnected, so what did you rent? You rented some Peugeot that didn't look all
Yeah,
that.
I rented a Peugeot 208, 3-cylinder, 1 liter, turbocharged. Small steering wheel, really small steering wheel. Also, the lightest steering. I've rented a 208 before. It's a very common rental car in the like subcompact class. I had a 1.4 4-cylinder last time.
Let me ask you a question,
But
Filippo.
the steering is so. I want to finish this. The steering is so light. When I got home and drove our Mercedes, I legitimately thought for the first 20 minutes that like my power steering was broken because it was so heavy, and the steering wheel of my Mercedes
has
is so big.
unusually heavy steering, I will say.
The Peugeot just has such light steering that it was a surprise.
Why didn't you rent something cool like a Chevy Captiva?
Thankfully, I was not given a Chevy Captiva. I've previously been given an Opel Grand Tour, which is a larger Chevy Captiva, literally, and I demanded that they switch it out. We went on a lot of very tight roads, and so a small car is all it can do. In Abruzzo, which is like an area east of Rome by a couple hours in the mountains, some of the best roads I've ever been on, some of the tightest roads I've ever been on. The 208 felt large. I was thinking about this a lot. If I had a Miata, which I could have rented from a different company for 4 or 5x the price, the Miata would have been almost too big.
You know what, Filippo,
Almost
that
too powerful.
I find a little weird? You're rich, like very rich.
No, I'm not, though.
You could have rented a Miata.
It would have been so much more money. I can't do that.
How much
My
more are we
rental car
talking?
for 2 weeks was $507. A Miata would have been $2,200. That's not worth it. That's not worth it.
Yeah, $2,200 for 2 weeks, like 100 and some
It's
a
not
day.
worth it.
Well, okay.
When my comparison point is $500, I'm not spending an extra $1,700 to have a Miata. You know,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's who you are at your
that's
core.
what I am. I'm not sure I would have spent an extra $700 to have a Miata. Extra 7, yes. Extra 70, sure.
On the saving money versus fun scale, you're always going to err on the side of saving money.
Yeah,
So
but I had a phenomenal vacation nonetheless.
yeah,
even
was
with
it
the weather.
great?
It was so nice. I really disconnected from you all. Thank you.
What did you?
I'm
eat
glad that you
anything
did.
cool?
You needed to.
I did. Did I eat anything cool?
Yeah, like nachos.
No nachos. A lot of food.
Italy, the land of
lot of other food.
nachos.
Land of nachos. Pizza is kind of a nacho if you like don't think about it too much.
Yeah. Cheese, bread.
Cheese, bread.
Little bigger,
It's just
though.
sort of cooked in a slightly different way than nachos.
Different ingredients.
Not that
different
different.
order.
Filippo, you ran into the Mille Miglia.
I did. I was driving around. I was with some family. We were coming back from something, and we
Yep.
ran across a bunch of children on the side of the road. Like, we didn't run into them. We saw a lot of children at like each intersection on the side of the road.
Yep.
And I wondered out loud, what do we think is happening? And my wife very kindly looks it up, and the Mille Miglia is about to pass through like 10 minutes later. And so I rushed my family back to where we were staying. They didn't want to be a part of this. And then my wife and I went back out and hung out at a like lakeside little bar cafe to watch a lot of cool cars go by.
Can I ask you a question? You must have been very flummoxed by all the cars.
Oh, I don't know anything about any of them.
But except for the Lexus LFA.
The Lexus LFA I knew about. Some of the support vehicles, because a lot of the people running it have support vehicles. We were outside this like little cafe, and the owner's son and daughter, very clearly, were out there on the street. And I was like hanging out with my wife between cars going by, because they're spread out by that point, right? Like they start off all together, but then some drive faster than others, some break down, some stop for a cigarette and an espresso. You know, things happen.
That one Alpha
Some
hit that
flip
other
into a
Alpha.
river.
You saw that, Kennan?
Yeah. Yeah. And the kids were getting so excited about specific cars. And so I was like looking to them to be like, what is coming? Is it going to be cool? And then I realized that the only cars that they cared about were anything new and loosely exotic. It's like any new 911, really excited.
Well, they live in
an old
town in
Bugatti.
Italy.
Right. It made me realize how spoiled we are. We see a top tier supercars, hypercars, sports cars, the rarest, the coolest variants every week in San Diego. When you live out in Southern California, you see them. When you're part of the car community in Southern California, you really see them. But these kids don't see a base 911 ever. It's rural Italy. It's Tuscany. Like occasionally a tourist drives through in a Ferrari California with German plates.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the best you can hope for.
Dude, you especially.
So they were into it.
I would argue that you especially are spoiled sitting in that Porsche room with you probably have a man bag.
There's a 991 GT3 RS and a 964 Turbo, like here. Down there.
Man.
So yeah, we're a little spoiled, but it was a refreshing reminder of what they'll get excited, what like still excites kids, which is turns out that new sports cars still do, and some of the old stuff, like all the drivers were so sweet and were like waving and honking as they went by people. And
did you talk to them, the kids, in Italian?
Of course.
Did you say, "Hi, my name is Filippo. I would like to sit at this cafe"?
No, because it turns out when you go to a cafe to order things, you just kind of go up there.
You don't need to say that.
And you order. You don't need to say, "My name is Filippo. I want to order food from your cafe." You just go and you chit chat and you order food from the cafe.
I'm glad that you had at least one automotive experience, Filippo, and it appears you're having another within this Porsche world that you're in.
It was so good. I love Italy. Everybody should go to Italy. And I now have a few additional regions that I had not been to since I was a kid to recommend.
Italy is the greatest country.
It is the greatest country.
Yeah.
Veramente lo è.
Uh-huh.
It just is.
Yep. Where would you put Greenland on your list?
Mid to low-ish.
No, it's a trick question. It's not a country. Okay.
That's right. It's a territory of Denmark.
In fact, they just use regular Denmark license plates, but, and this is the key, they start with GR.
Oh,
and that means Greenland. Kennan, can you?
We gotta.
Can you tell us some stuff? You got anything?
I'll tell you some things. We gotta move on from that. So couple of things. One is that, so I have a car live right now. I'm very excited. The first Kennan R car officially is live since I launched, which I'm very excited about.
I was gone, and I'm so excited for you.
Thanks, Filippo. I really appreciate that. It's a Lotus Emira.
Did you know what was going to happen, Filippo?
Yeah, Kennan and I are personally friends and do talk.
we live like a block apart from one another. We do see each other.
I'll tell you this. He stunned me on the podcast when he told everybody.
That's because you live on the other coast. It's hard to communicate.
And then later in the podcast, he found me a Toyota Supra. Anyway, speaking of Toyota sports cars, the Emira.
Yeah, so well, no.
Not this one.
No, because this one is not. This one has the 4-cylinder. There only been one 4-cylinder off-road car since before, but this has the AMG M139 turbocharged 4-cylinder, which I think is... I was reflecting upon this the other day when I was looking at the stats. I never thought that I would see the day when a 4-cylinder from a manufacturer would make more power than my E39 M5's 5-liter V8. But here we are. And like, I personally love the Emira. I think it's
is that true?
Yeah, 400 horsepower.
Yeah, because you got like 395, 394.
394. That's right.
Wow.
It's got me by a little bit. Half the cylinder count, more power. Unbelievable.
Wow.
But nonetheless, like this one, I think Hethel Yellow is the right color for this car. It looks so good. And this is a really nice example. 4,000 miles. It's got all the great stuff with it. But it's so cool. I worked with Frank Harrington from the Photographer's Garage on this one, who took amazing pictures of this car, as he always does. And yes, this is the very first one. I'm really excited it's being offered with no reserve. So go check it out when you can. But
wait, sorry. Can I say something about this? We talked about we know that the 6-cylinder manual is going away, and then they're replacing the 6-cylinder and the 4-cylinder with their French Chinese built.
Yep. Yeah.
So the end. There was a brief period where you can get an AMG 4-cylinder in the Emira.
Correct. Yeah. And when I talked to the owner of this car, the first words out of his mouth were, it's the AMG 4-cylinder. He wanted to make sure I knew that, which I fully did. But nonetheless, really love. Yeah, great powertrain in a lot of really cool cars, and I just can't believe that kind of power can be made with a 4-cylinder car, but it can. And the Emira is, I think one of the coolest cars it's in. But okay, now there is something else I wanted to mention in addition to this. It was a friend of mine who has a Ferrari 575 sent this to me. But there's a YouTube video that just came out recently of a guy who did a full U.S. tour, went to all 48 contiguous states in a Ferrari 575. He added, I think it's 14,000 miles to his car doing this drive, which is unbelievable. As Ferraris right now have become super valuable cars, like they're just on fire and not in the normal way. Their values are just skyrocketing. It's so cool to see one go out and actually, use this car and like go drive it around. He did a video talking about like his experiences. I mean, I don't think he saw a bison like you did with your Aston Martin, Doug. But nonetheless, this guy took it to small towns, like drove it around, had great conversations, and it was just like a reminder to me that even if your car is something really special, like go out and use it and have experiences and share it with people. That's when you derive the most pleasure out of it.
That's pretty cool.
Which is especially rare in the Ferrari community. It's just like a lot of Ferraris, covered up and protected and stuff. But I mean, this guy just went out and did it. Yeah. Which I think is so cool.
Kennan, if you had a Ferrari 575M Maranello, what state would you most want to be driving it in?
That's tough to say. I mostly would just want to drive it here at home and use it as often as I possibly could.
But I think this guy did a road trip.
Yeah, he did. I mean, Colorado has a lot of lovely roads that are suited to it, wide open, but then you have nice, beautiful mountain, twisty roads. There's a lot of great places to use it. And just spectacular. Looking out that windshield, seeing that beautiful long hood, and then mountains in the that would just be amazing. Then some roads, and I think in Arizona, some really straight ones to exercise the V12 a little bit. But to that point, oh no, he did see a bison. Look at that. But to that point, I was curious about reliability, right? You're going to drive it that far. That's a major that it needs before and after.
Yeah, I mean, he must have serviced it during this trip.
A little bit. So he he blew through a set of tires, completely wore them out. Not a surprise, Pirellis. And then he had a clogged AC line that ended up packing up on him. But pretty minor stuff. Like the car just otherwise did it,
and
which is impressive.
He must have also serviced. He must have done, 40,000 miles. He must have done an oil change, and stuff like that.
14,000, but beforehand, I would imagine, and probably during, I think he did do maybe an oil change. But nonetheless, the guy just went out and used the car, and I just think that is so cool. And yes, I know, obviously, I'm sure it picked up a lot of rock chips and needs some cosmetic reconditioning now. But who cares? You're not gonna go to your grave having. He's gonna have cool stories to tell, and he lived. And so I think it's just a cool reminder. And I thought it was a really, really cool video.
Cool. Filippo, the next time you debate whether you want to get a Miata or a Peugeot 208 with a 3-cylinder, keep in mind that you too could live. Although I understand you don't wish to. Okay, we got to move on from the Talk Car segment and move on to the incredibly important market report. There is a lot of reporting that we have to do about the market. The market report is brought to you by the convertible Toyota 4Runner, which will be coming out, my guess is probably sometime in the next year, in order for Toyota to distract us from the fact that they're not recalling hybrid powertrains due to a small technicality.
It existed, don't forget.
Yeah, so where is it again? Jesus!
Sort of. Does Kennan know that it existed? Kennan, were you aware it existed?
No, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, the original 4Runner had a removable top. The original.
It was really like a Tacoma with a removable top on the back and seats. But yeah.
Exactly what it was.
Or a pickup, I guess.
Market report, we got to start with the E92. This was one of the greatest things that ever happened. Kennan, pull up the C92. By the way, speaking of Ohio, this is where the E92 is going.
Excellent.
Oh, nice.
We sold this E92 M3. It came in, and the fellow who bought it, he had owned it from new. And I don't think he was really paying that much attention to the market because he was like, oh my God. He wasn't like thinking he'd get big money. And I was like, this is a one-owner competition, final model year, 17,000-mile manual transmission, individual frozen silver.
Yep.
Like this is the E92 to end all E92s. Sold for $97,500 United States dollars, which is over $100,000 with the fee. I did a video on it. I had a lot of fun in that car. I've been a long time driven E92 M3. And I had a lot of fun in that car. I forgot how special it is to have a V8 in a car like that.
Yeah, and
Incredible.
it's just an unbelievable. Like this was, you're absolutely right. This is the car, short of like a Lime Rock with a manual and very low mileage. Like this is it. But yeah, I mean the S65. It's so funny because like they're so different compared to like my car. Everybody asks me why didn't you get an M3? It's just revs. That engine just goes and goes and goes and goes.
You know what? You know what's interesting? I've always looked at the torque figure and looked at the torque peak numbers and thought, well, an engine, it just doesn't have torque. And so it's a V8, but it doesn't behave like a V8. I didn't feel that way when I drove it this time for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why, but it felt like it was a little torqueier low than I remembered. Maybe because I had remembered it being like an S2000, and it was just better than my expectation. But I just really loved that car and that powertrain. It's a really nice situation.
I don't blame you. It's actually a more true, I would say, powertrain like for BMWs. Yes, it's V8, but BMW engines are about revs. Like the M engines are high revving, naturally aspirated. Like the best ones are, I feel, are like that. But yeah, I mean, it is. I'm so glad this car got the appreciation I feel like it deserves. It's like it's the one. It's just the one.
Have you ever considered, Kennan, replacing your E39 M5 for an E90 M3 sedan?
Yeah, LCI.
Sure.
I have on occasion considered that, but I like torque. My motor's got torque.
Your motor does have torque, but man, that E90, what a great car.
I know, so good, great interior, great design. So, Filippo, never mind. You're not going to consider one of these ever.
No.
But and those wheels, the competition wheels, one of the finest BMW wheels.
Yeah, Filippo's not ready for it, but like a real adult who like wants to get into a real sports car might be ready for it.
I do love the E90. I think the sedan looks better than the coupe.
I think the coupe looks great, but I think the sedan looks really good. I think the convertible, as much as I prefer convertibles in every car, looked a little ungainly, which is unfortunate because they tried really hard to make it look coupe-like, and I think convertibles are great, and I think that convertible in particular is a bargain. But it's a little weird looking. A little.
Regardless, though, I'm not surprised to see a nice, but not perfect, in that it has 17,000 miles. That's not incredibly low by collector standards.
The thing that hit me about this...
That's not that surprising.
I agree with you. The thing that hit me about this car is that we are seeing in the exotic market a big rise in the pre-hybrid, pre-automatic phase. All those cars are shooting to the moon. It's not just those. This car is proof of that. Like E92 M3 at $100,000 is something we all could have predicted, but now is the day that it's happening.
It's time.
Another car that I thought was interesting that sold this week for much more money than I was expecting was this Audi RS5. Pull up that RS5 there, Kennan. For a brief period, Audi made the RS5 with a big old V8. And the perfect one listed on our site, which is a low mileage with the V8 in this gorgeous blue color, Sepang blue. And it sold for $52,000, a lot more than I was expecting. And it's, again, I think the market is just really coalescing around these V8, these experiences.
Yeah,
I'm a little surprised by this one because you can still replicate a V8 automatic experience, and so it's a little surprising to see
a Mustang
strength. Sure, or an AMG GT, which is also $50,000 for a car that should be higher premium in some way.
Yeah, this is an NAV8.
Yeah, it's an NAV8. The other thing to keep in mind is like this car had some mods on it, but a lot of these cars have a lot of mods on them these days.
And also,
and the final one with low mileage and bright colors.
Yeah, this had the good mods. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm continue to be interested in this. This whole world, we called it years ago on this podcast and a lot of other videos that this sort of mid-2000s to mid-2010 era where cars had NA-V8s and big NA engines before the screens, before the hybrids, before too much complication is going to be looked at as the 60s of our generation. And boy, is that happening right before our eyes.
So
I hope you all got in.
You heard it here, yeah. And I still think there's probably room to get in. Like, buy the cars that you love. Like at the end of the day, if you can do it, buy them because you might not get a second chance.
I mean, I definitely would not buy a Carrera GT today.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, even my beloved 355, it's like the gold 550s, like stuff like that has moved. But there are still bargains out there. You know, this is a good example of that. So I think like these cars are just really special. So
you got to buy the good stuff while you can. Toyota's still not making a convertible 4Runner, folks. This is the next best thing.
Can I ask, instead of the Carrera GT, would you buy? We have a Ferrari 330 P4 recreation.
Oh, yeah, this thing is so
and
cool.
It's so wild. Would you buy that instead?
No, but I would not buy the Carrera GT.
It's a Ferrari V12, the gated 5-speed manual. It looks, I mean, correct.
It's a little too unusable and excessive for me. I actually don't mind the really good Ferrari replicas. I just wouldn't want that one's just a little too like crazy for me.
You know,
I mean, it's bottom in a piece of grass
with the bubble windshield and look over those fenders.
It's amazing. But I got the Countach. I wouldn't mind like a 250 short wheelbase replica. I would be interested in that or a something like that. Cut up a
did you do a 250 TR rep? I know that's kind of
it's also pretty focused because there's no roof on that thing and all that. You know,
that's right. But we live here. When do you need a roof?
You do. I live here. Okay, we got any more market reports to talk about?
I'm content to move on to questions.
We got to move on to questions because even though we didn't, let me tell you what happened, folks. We put up a questions post this week, and it was Ryan Lopez who did it, and he didn't turn the questions on. He didn't turn on comments. In fact, he turned off comments. And I discovered, I came up with a thing about Ryan Lopez that I think is going to be, we got to use from now on. His slogan is almost. Ryan Lopez, almost.
It does sound, in the marketing pitch, the Mad Men pitch, that is exactly what we would say.
I will defend Mr. Ryan Lopez because I think he did that while driving across the country in Model T or whatever he's driving across the country.
He's doing some
and so
crazy.
That's got to mess with your brain in some way.
You know what? I used to do these posts, and I once missed one by like an hour, and I was apoplectically cross with myself.
Yeah, but Kennan, there were expectations for you. But for Ryan Lopez, remember, Ryan Lopez. Almost. Okay, so I want to move on to the questions. Somebody put up a privateer post, and the questions were actually amazing. They were incredible questions. So we got good stuff. And the first question is the best question from EVs and Clutch Pedals. Below are the 10 best-selling passenger vehicles in the USA last year. If you had to daily drive one for a year, what would it be? I'm going to read them to you. So that's the question. Think about it as I read you the cars.
For a year, okay.
Camry, CR-V, Equinox, F-150, Model Y, Ram, RAV4, Sierra, Silverado, Tacoma. For me, it's undoubtedly the Tacoma. It's not even a question on my mind. What about you guys?
I like sedans, so it's probably going to end up being the Camry for me.
You would do a Camry.
The Taco actually was the first. My gut was that was the first thing I thought I would use. But I've never had a truck. Like I don't know.
Wouldn't even be a question for me. In fact, I wish they made a convertible one.
I would have, what are you, Dakota Sport? I would have an F-150 over the Taco.
By the way, the convertible Dakota, you didn't have to get a Sport. You could get a standard regular Dakota convertible.
Nobody did.
You'd get an F-150?
Over a Taco. I think I would go for a CR-V hybrid.
Okay.
Or for 2026, the RAV4 GR hybrid.
Yeah, that's a very exciting car. Kennan, what's your answer here? You would do Camry?
I don't know. I think I would do the Camry. I love sedans, and like the Camry is just so
what are we, a Toyota podcast? This is the same company that won't recall their hybrids.
I didn't say a Toyota. You said the Toyota.
What do you mean? You just said the GR RAV4. You just said that.
But I said the CR-V hybrid first.
He can't even remember what he just got.
I like how the new RAV4 looks.
This is the level of effort that Filippo puts into our podcast.
He's here in Porsche land, but his mind is still in it.
Yeah, that's right. I got to answer a question about non-Porsches. Ugh. Okay, next question.
That's all I love.
Next question. This is a good one. From Tall Guy, Small Car, a question for Doug. It's actually a question for all of us. You recently claimed the Lotus Esprit V8 is a cheap alternative to your Countach that still gives a similar type of excitement and feel. I think that's true. You agree with that, Kennan, right?
I agree with that. Yep, still.
Here's the question. What are some similar cheap alternatives to your other cars that offer a similar feel, your Carrera GT or your Ford GT?
Well, actually, the Ford GT is that alternative for the Carrera GT in a way.
Yeah, yeah. I think an alternative for the Countach, another alternative for the Countach is a Gallardo. Actually, I think a manual Gallardo has a similar amount, not the same, but some gravitas, some craziness, some wedge shape for a lot less money. I think that's another possibility. Carrera GT is so defined by the precision of the car and the immense specialness of the powertrain that I honestly think it's difficult to replicate cheaper. Like, yes, a Boxster Spider is also a mid-engine Porsche that has similar looks and is quick, but it's not even close to delivering what I think makes the Carrera GT the Carrera GT. Whereas I think a Spree actually gets pretty close to doing what the Countach does, if I'm honest. And I don't really see a great Carrera GT alternative. The Ford GT sort of, but I'm astonished every time I drive them back to back. You can tell why the Ford GT was so much cheaper. Like, if I didn't love the Ford GT and if I drove the Carrera GT a lot more, I would defo sell that Ford GT. Like, it's just not on the same level. But I think it's hard to get on the same level.
R8 is not a bad Ford GT alternative for this question.
Yeah, it's a similar idea.
CR1 or C7 CO6. Different, but like replacing.
Similar idea, like a supercar from a regular manufacturer, still a special car, still very fast, still very cool. I think that's true.
Viper, 5th gen?
Yeah, a good 5th gen Viper. Although a good 5th gen Viper is not that much cheaper than a Ford GT.
For a Ford GT, it's still a fifth the price.
A regular 5th gen, but like an ACR is like
that's too hardcore for a Ford GT.
That's too much.
Ford GT is not that tracky.
Yeah, that's true. Those are. I think an R8 is probably the best Ford GT alternative. It's to me, it's the same idea. It's a mid-engine. Yep. It was supposed to be a halo car, pretty serviceable, pretty usable, pretty drivable, a lot of fun. I think that's like the answer to that. Carrera GT, I just can't come up with something really that captures like the essence of how I feel when I drive that car. You got anything, Kennan?
No, I've been trying to think because, like, even from the Porsche world, like Boxster Spider was the first thing I thought of, but no, it's really hard. 911 ST, but it's not the same.
A GT3 RS 4.0 kind of starts going down the road, but that's $1 million. I don't think it answers the question in the spirit 50%. Of the question.
That's a pretty good. It's less than half the cost.
The question is being asked. Like,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Boxster Spider is the answer, though. For people that will never experience what you're describing. That comparison falls apart when you get to the specialness of the Carrera GT engine and powertrain and like the feel of being in that car with that shifter, wood, and up there. Nobody's going to get to experience that. And so if you don't know better,
I guess. Hell, if you don't know better, the CR-V hybrid is actually the right.
No, we know that.
Toyota should make a convertible 4Runner. All right, on to the next question. From AARAV 2020, Dear Doug, with another child on the way, do you think you'll use the Sequoia year-round now? Absolutely not. I wouldn't be caught dead driving that car, even though I love it. My wife and I have 3-row station wagons. We're good. Filippo's got one too. So if we need to borrow one.
Yeah, you got it. I have a more spacious third row we've tested and decided.
What about the S210? That's a big butt.
It's a big butt.
It is a long, voluptuous.
Big butt. I love this next question.
The next question, Dear Doug, with your growing family, a lot of growing family questions. Don't you think it's time to get really serious about acquiring the Italdesign Columbus? You think toting kids around on a Supra is cool? Who could beat a 2-story van? It's more of a split-level van, I would argue. That's what Filippo knows. Filippo grew up in Wisconsin. He lived in a split level, for God's sake.
Never lived in a split level, but yeah.
Yeah, but you had a walkout basement, I bet. I bet you had one of those.
In Connecticut, we did. Yeah.
Correct. In Connecticut. Damn, Filippo. The answer is I tried to buy the Italdesign Columbus years ago. I got in serious emails with them, and they were like, we're not selling this. It's part of our heritage. And I'm thinking, isn't this part of your heritage that you maybe don't want to have anymore? Like, it's really bad.
So Mercedes has, we talked months ago about the VLS.
Yeah.
Mercedes, they're like fancy van. First drives are out. People are vaguely into it. There's like a luxury version. The Italdesign Columbus would be like the ultimate family van for sure. And so you should reach out again.
What their suggestion was they said, hey, look, instead of selling you the one we have, we can create one together. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend $1 million creating a heinous van. You already did that. I now want to buy it for like $65,000, which I think is what it's worth.
We might be at a price mismatch.
I would spend $200. I just have to wait for
Italdesign folks, reach out.
I got to wait for Italdesign to get into dire financial straits, which you have to assume is not far off.
It's shocking they're not already there. Yeah, I can't believe they want to.
And then
hold
I
on
swoop in. I swoop in as their savior in two ways. I give them cash, and I free up space, and they can downgrade to a smaller office because that car takes up so much room.
But you say that it's a van. I picture it more being like a Winnebago is the size I'm picturing.
big.
No,
it's
small.
humongous. Yeah, but it has a V12 in the middle.
Okay, next question from Barrett the Controls 7, and this is a great question. Barrett the Controls 7. Dear Doug, what's the best idea an automaker pumped loads of money into only to abandon it later? GM OnStar, right, Filippo?
OnStar's still a thing.
Oh, yeah. People using it, I bet. I bet they're out there just using it like crazy. I bet they're pushing the button.
When you, every manufacturer now, to be fair, they led the way. And every manufacturer has like an emergency response system now where, in theory, you can call it for like support, but it's really you got into an accident, we'll call that.
But remember, OnStar was supposed to be a savior. And I remember I sold GM cars, and I remember people would come in and say that, but the Toyota has navigation. And we'd say, you don't need navigation. We have OnStar.
Yeah, OnStar's not a bad one. I really thought you were going to say Quadristeer when you said GM, though.
I don't think that much money went into Quadristeer. Plus, Quadristeer is now on every luxury car, so they won.
Luxury car.
Once again, General Motors paved the way, and the Euro trash was well behind them.
Was the question just, was it just one manufacturer, like what they did?
Yeah.
And the car that comes to mind that never became a car to me was Apple pursuing, like doing a car themselves. Yeah. They pumped millions and millions of dollars into that and it never went anywhere. And then Johnny went and gave us the Luce, which is maybe why Apple didn't do it.
That's the smarter decision than a brand putting a ton of money into a car that then is, and everyone knows it's going to be a total flop, but they sort of get to this point. But yes, it's a lot of money, and
it went nowhere.
I think that the Fisker Ocean's California mode wasn't that much money independently, but it's a lot of windows with motors.
I don't think that was a big part of the financial.
No, that wasn't it. It was the
embezzlement.
That was
all of their marketing.
I mean, there's been a lot of dumb marketing things that were really big components of cars that nobody ended up caring about that much.
Envoy XUV,
stuff like that. Yeah, but I think OnStar is a really
OnStar's a good answer.
It was like the heart of their marketing for like 20 years that they had this.
Run flats also sort of come to mind.
Run flats,
BMW in the 2000s did run flat tires that had a lot of trade-offs, but wouldn't go flat. They still do, by the way, offer that. But for a while, Honda on the Odyssey also had run flats that everybody had issues with. But like, there was a lot of investment in how can we make these tires be safer, not have punctures,
and nobody really bought it. I mean, people bought it, but nobody bought it like mentally.
If they could have avoided buying it, they would have. Yeah, every single Odyssey buyer would have avoided it.
And now every Odyssey is on rims from that era. The ones that haven't launched their transmissions are on rims so that people can avoid the run flat tires. Okay, that's a good question. Next question from Barrett the Controls 7 again. Dear Doug, when you went to GM to review the Cadillac Voyage, did you ask the people from GM what happened to the Cadillac 16 concept car from 2003? I reviewed the Cadillac Voyage concept car there at GM. They have all the concept cars. It's just that not all of them run. That was why I had to choose the Voyage. I would have chosen a bunch of other ones, but a lot of the other concept cars just either never ran or only ran like with a remote control and a small battery or something, or they just don't. They're not operant. And so I think that I could have done a lot of concept cars if I was willing not to drive it, but graciously they actually let me drive this thing, which was part of the fun of the review. That's why I chose that was one of the reasons why I chose the Voyage. Next question from D_4BES. Dear Doug, as you mentioned recently, you're not keeping any of your cars forever. You've historically been the leading voice of no reserve and have sold all your cars no reserve on Cars and Bids. Will you sell the Carrera GT no reserve when the time comes to depart with it? Heck yeah.
Yep.
But I have a suspicion that the world will be different when it's time to sell the Carrera GT. You know what I mean? Will Cars and Bids still be around? Will Filippo?
Man, these are deep philosophical questions.
You never know. Like if we're talking 20, 25 years, like by then, maybe online car auctions have gone away and all cars are sold via a chip implanted in your brain. You know?
Maybe cars are Real?
Actually, that's Filippo's dream, because then he can just imagine. That's what he does. He imagines what the car is like, doesn't have to own it, and he gets that the philosophical and the sort of the experience out of his system. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't have a need for cars.
Oh, hopefully we don't even have a need for cars.
An hour and a half into this week's podcast.
It'll be bikes and bids.
Slightly
It'll be
25 years, we as a society will no longer need cars.
In how many years?
25 was.
Is
the
that where
number.
you're getting rid of the Carrera GT?
Well, yeah, probably something like. I don't think it's going to be like. I don't think I'll keep it forever, but I have a suspicion it's going to stick around for a while. Don't you think?
I don't know, man. Right now, your Carrera GT is worth what? $2 million ish. Something like I don't know what values are at, but like it becomes to 3, 4, 5. Can you still drive
10.
it? Can you still decide to own it? I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be hard. I mean, it'll depend a lot on my financial situation. As the poorest Carrera GT owner, at some point I'll have to make a decision as to whether I'd rather have the money liquid. Okay, final question from _Nick. Dear Doug, now that you're back on cars, would you take another run at the Gilmore Girls Jeep? It's just down the road in Connecticut. Folks, I've talked about this on this podcast. One of my great heartbreaks in life is that the people who own the Jeep from Gilmore Girls will not sell it to me. I made them a nice offer. I made them another nice offer. I then went to their house with weaponry.
Oh my God.
No, they never have sold it to me. Filippo, what do you think? I was thinking about this the other day because I'm getting out of this G-Wagon and I got to get a Jeep or something. And that car is just sitting. It's sitting probably 120 miles from me. What do I do?
When was the last time you reached out to the fine people of Gilmore Girls Jeep?
All right. It's last message to them was in April of 21.
Maybe it's worth a little
time.
email.
It's been 5 years.
It's worth a little email. Situations change. COVID happened, you know?
Well, COVID was happening then.
Still happened.
I do want the Jeep still. Filippo, do you think I should pursue that?
Absolutely not under any circumstances should you, but I suspect you should at least email.
I'm going to have 10 cars here in just a second.
And you haven't seen some number of them.
I mean, you've forgotten what it's like to have that many. I feel like you specifically said you wanted to pare down and get rid of cars and have a more simple life.
For a long time. You know, it's funny. The people on the internet complain about this. Doug said he was off cars, now he's buying his cars. Remember, I was off cars for 3 years, and I was really committed to that, and I did pare way down, and we got down to 6, I think, at one point, and now we're back up to 10. What are you typing, Filippo? Are you looking up the Gilmore Girls?
Can you remind us of the 10 cars? Can you list them? Can you keep track of all of them?
Yeah, okay, you do it.
Are they all public? I've been gone for a couple of weeks.
They're all public except the 10th one I haven't bought yet and haven't really committed to yet. So, but I'm counting that in my mind because I think I'll have them all at the same time. I have a suspicion.
You have a Carrera GT. You have a Ford GT. You got the Countach.
Yeah.
You got the 911 Turbo.
Yeah.
You got the G Cabriolet still.
Yeah.
You have the Supra. You have the 210. G. You have the 213. You have the Sequoia.
Yeah. And then a mystery 10th car that I'm going to get
TBD
pretty soon. That's 10.
That's a problem.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a problem. But you got like 6, dude. So come on.
4.
Come at. You got like at least 6.
4.
You know, Kennan keeps it simple.
I always have.
Keep it simple.
I always have. Although now I have customer cars that are coming, which is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So, which is very cool, very exciting.
5, and he keeps it simple.
Simple. I think that's a good note to end on.
That's the end of our podcast today. Kennan, do you have any final parting thoughts for us?
Well, I'm just very happy that Filippo is back, although not back. He's back, but not here.
I was home. I saw you in person, Kennan.
We did have dinner the other night, and it was lovely. And I'm
Filippo's
thrilled
in some
that he's
Porsche studio ready to wax poetic about the difference between the 964 Speedster and the 9...
Just so people know, if anybody is here, I'm in New England. We have a great event. Saturday, tomorrow, if you're listening to this when it comes out, at the Lars
Anderson, right?
All the spots for cars are taken, but we still have space for spectators, so come on by.
Hey, what kind of
bring your car? Come say hi to me and tell me that you
what cars you got? You got anything really good?
Honestly, yes. It's absolutely wild. I don't have it in front of me, but it's a wild list of cars.
Do you have?
Lars Anderson is no joke. It's the great facility and great people there, but also like this event. Like
what we
people really show up in New England.
We have a blue TDF Scuderia, which is exciting, but we also have a Project 8.
Oh my God, is it for sale?
And a Project 7, and another Project 8.
What color is the Project 8? And is it cat or cat delete?
I will tell you on Saturday.
I'm dead serious. I want you to talk to that person.
I will tell you on Saturday.
I'm not screwing with you. I'm interested. Also,
Yeah, I know.
do you have a Hyundai Scoop?
I haven't looked. I'll be honest. This is the one time that I did not make the breakout of.
Okay,
who
well,
goes
Control
which
F
one.
for on the list for Scoop. It's SCOUPE.
I'm looking.
It's not Scoop like an ice cream. Now, by the way, British viewers are going to be watching and saying it's S-Coupe. No. That's what they market it as in Europe. In the States, it was called the Scoop, spelled the same. I swear to God. Anyway, are there any?
I don't see any on this sheet.
Another bad event from Cars and
All right. I hope to see a lot of you at that event, though.
Lars Anderson, go see Filippo. If you have the Project 8 and you're going, for God's sake, I want to buy it if it's bright blue and it has a cat on the side.
And then Doug had 11 cars.
If it's cat delete low wing, why not just get a regular XE, dude?
Right. Goodbye.
Pleasure.
Goodbye.